The modern day pre-order culture is getting a little bit out of hand, and I think now that we're into 2019, it may be time to remind people again that it's a very bad idea. There are a lot of big games coming out this year, and while I'm excited for more than a few of them, I have not pre-ordered a single one, and I will not purchase any of them until I am assured that they are worth my money, and that general rule applies to everything in my life, not just games. Before we get too deep into this debate as well, I want to say that I think pre-orders do have their place in the industry, but only for games that have a limited stock at release, such as special editions or collector's editions. In the world of digital distribution, there is very little chance that you will not be able to purchase a game in the first week because of its limited stock. Only smaller titles that come out with a special statue or some kind of physical entity should have stock problems. The rest should be fully available everywhere for everyone to buy. I want to explain why pre-ordering normal editions of AAA games is hurting the gaming industry when you do, and that maybe games would be even better if we just stopped doing it. I'm not saying don't buy games, I'm just saying that maybe if you wait a few weeks for some reviews to confirm that the game is worth your time, maybe your patience will give the developers the inclination to release finished and polished games in the future. You're happy, the developers receive their money and the praise they deserve, and we all walk away happy. Hundreds of thousands of games are sold around the world for full price, months and months before they release, and before they're even finished. And we seem to be in this mindset where we are happy to fork over large sums of money for something that has no guarantee of living up to the expectation. And when we think about where that expectation came from, it's worrying. The expectation is given to us by the people who are responsible for advertising and selling you the game. When you pre-order, you are trusting the say-so of someone who is paid to make that game seem amazing. We only have to look back just a few years to notice some of the worst offenders. Watch Dogs was a game that looked amazing. The E3 demo made us hungry to jump into Ubisoft's open world and play around with hacking and technology. But what we got was a terribly downgraded version and a lackluster, boring story, and that's what these marketing departments do. They use footage and information that is specifically chosen and designed by them, and more often than not, intentionally misleading, just to get you to prematurely hand over your money. Some companies don't just mislead you. Sometimes they just straight up lie to your face so that you buy their game before day one. Who can forget the debacle that was No Man's Sky, promises of multiplayer in a huge galaxy, satisfying space combat with huge dreadnoughts in multi-layered faction battles, and an amazing reward at the end of the galaxy, and none of these were even in the game. They don't care that the overall product will be hugely disappointing. They're already working on the overpriced DLCs, which of course is not included in your pre-order purchase price. This is how guaranteed sales hurt the overall game at release, because these companies do not care about making a complete or polished game. Once they have your money, they already have it. Why should they continue to work on a game that you want, the game that you paid for? They've already got your money. This makes them incredibly comfortable, and in that comfort they begin to carve huge pieces out of these games and then sell them back to us after release. Alien Isolation is a perfect example of a company holding content hostage behind pre-order or purchase paywall. The first half of the game was amazing, but after the alien is killed, it devolves into a boring trek around a spaceship we've already seen. And for people who pre-ordered, they got the extra missions, which included the original crew of the Nostromo. These missions would have been much better placed into the game after the alien was killed. Have it as the second half of the game. It would have made the entire experience better for it. The second half would have been much less boring, and it would have felt like a true sequel to the Alien film. But no, this content was locked behind a pre-order wall. This is an Alien game that sold you the crew of the Alien films. Seriously? Do you see the problem? And now we come to 2019. The list of big titles is endless this year, and pre-order numbers are already soaring. If you look at a game like Anthem, you know it's going to sell incredibly well, but I have no idea why. The gameplay looks solid enough, but I honestly think that we have not seen anywhere near enough content or information to justify a purchase this early, and I have no idea how anyone can trust EA enough to give them their money just on their word that Anthem will be a good game. Look, I just want games to release that are complete, polished, and fantastic experiences for everybody, and if we can all just wait one day until after these games come out just to buy them, these companies cannot hoodwink us by carving out content prematurely, using misleading marketing and giving us empty promises of a better game that we will never get. I hold out hope for the future, but given the greed of these companies and the stupidity of the general public, I doubt this will change anytime soon.